Navy's a lot of fun.
Seal?
No. Seabees are actually a whole lot more fun.
Navy? Oh. Am I smiling at you?
Check 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2. Check 1 2 1.
They all sound the same.
Essa aqui é o 203. E você abre igual shotgun espinhado. Coloca, fecha e pega aqui e atira. E essa aqui é o AK-47. They use it também.
It'll be after Toby gets
And if you look to your right, you'll see an airplane in pieces. And that's pretty much what both of these airplanes look like when we received them. The F-105 Thunder Chief came from a museum out in Amarillo, and we inherited it, and we are the caretakers for now. The F-111 came from Tucson. The F-111 was built here and flew out of Upper Hayforth in England. So both of these airplanes have been freshly restored by our crews. It's been about a 9-year process. And so what we're going to do here is dedicate the airplanes this afternoon. We've asked Brigadier General Bobby Efferson is going to be here as a representative of the F-105 people. And you will notice on the F-105, if you look at both sides, on one side it has some yellow markings, and it represents a squadron that flew out of Takli in Southeast Asia. And on the other side of the airplane, you will see a representation of Texas, and those are the markings for the 301st Fighter Squadron here. So we're dedicating the airplane not only to the 301st here, but also to the Vietnam era veterans from Takli. So without further delay, General Efferson, please.
Good afternoon. Jim asked me to share a couple of thud stories with you, and he said all I have is an hour to talk. So unfortunately, we left about half of those thuds up in North Vietnam and Laos, and we left a lot of good men up there also. The airplane had some tough times in the early days. They caught fire a lot, and never did blow up, but they caught fire a lot. And so in the European theater, they called them a squash bomber, because all they could do was taxi over a tank, raise the landing gear, and squash it to death. The other thing they called it was a lead sled, because they said if they would build an airfield around the world, the Republic could build something that used all of it to take off. I ended up with 2,300 hours in the 105, and right at the end of the airplane's life, the Hill Air Force Base Reserve Unit was the last one still flying, and we had a great big party out there to say goodbye to the airplane. And they listed almost 2,000 guys that had flown the airplane over the years. And I had my 2,300 hours. They listed them down. I was number 49. So 2,300 hours was good for 49th place in FedCon. I think I'm done.
Thank you, General. We've got a little remembrance reference here for him from us, from Hobson Props, Brigadier General Bob L. Efferson. In grateful appreciation for your valuable contribution to the dedication of Republic F-105D Thunder Chief 60-5385, April 29th, 2017. Thank you, sir.
Jim calls it Hobson Props. We call it Thuds and Suds.
She's helped finance the restoration over the years, and she's done this in honor of her husband, Larry Pickett, whose name is on the side of the airplane. And so we're going to give the microphone over to Trudy here and let her speak to y'all for just a few minutes.
Well, as you can see, I'm not military, but I am a military widow. My late husband, Colonel Lawrence J. Pickett, died in 2007. And just about ever since then, these good folks at the museum have been working at restoring MF-105. But I'd like to tell you a little bit about that man whose name is on that plane. He grew up in Los Cruces, New Mexico, and when he was a toddler, a barnstormer came to town, and he got a ride. From that moment on, he wanted to be a pilot. So all you parents out there, or grandparents, whose kids went up in that plane today, just be ready, because your kids are going to want to be a pilot.
We're going to talk about the 111. Now, we got the 111 at the same time that we got the 105. We called them the Fort Worth 4 because there were 4 aircraft that we were trying to acquire. One was the A7 Corsair 2, the F-105, the 111, and the TF-102 that we have here. So the 111 was finished up pretty much just about a month or so ago. But again, both of them have been 9-year projects. So I'm going to ask retired Lieutenant Colonel Jack Thompson to come up and talk about the 111.
Had a lot of problems as it came on board. It was an airplane that really pushed the state of the art back in the 50s and early 60s when it was being designed and built. It was the first production airplane to have swing wings. It was the first one to have an afterburning turbofan engine. It was the first one to have the crew escape module and automatic terrain following radar. And I was lucky enough to get into it in 1968 when it was still almost brand new. And somebody in pilot training, when I was in pilot training, said, Captain, you never want to fly the A model of anything. And then the 111 was in the first Gulf War. By that time, the 111 was already scheduled to go to the boneyard. The 111's credited with knocking out about 1,500 armored vehicles. And they just didn't get any credit for it because they were going out and the Air Force wanted the credit to go to the new guys so they could get money for the new aircraft. And I'm really proud that I was able to fly the 111. I'm really disappointed that I never got to fly it in combat because when it was grounded during that year after the wing came off, I was sent to fly OV-10s, which turned out to be a really great experience, but not a 111 experience. So, to everybody that helped build and maintain and fly the 111, thank you. And I want to thank you all for coming out today, and it's been my pleasure to bring this airplane back to life. I actually got to fly 009 4 times while I was at Upper Hayford. And I also flew the Air Force OV-10 that we have here. So to have 2 airplanes on this museum that I personally flew is really something that kind of warms my heart. And thanks for everybody that's supporting the museum. Thanks.
Museum. If it had not been for the members of the B-36 Museum 9 years ago, that airplane wouldn't be here. The airplane had essentially been in hock in Tucson for 9 years or 10 years. And there was a financial cost to us in bringing all of these airplanes here. And 9 years ago, we couldn't hardly afford anything. And these folks that we've considered our big brothers for a long time stepped up and said, we will pay the toll to bring that airplane back here. It was born here in Fort Worth, and we're going to financially support bringing it back. So we recognize them with a little small golden wrench, and they wear them very proudly on their hats. So I can tell you that this restoration was a 9-year restoration, and so some of the people who started this project are not here. Tom, you need to be out here, because you're one of the guys who got up in here from Amarillo. So I'm not going to go through and introduce everybody, but I want you to understand that these gentlemen spend hundreds and thousands of hours on these airplanes. They are out here Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, sometimes even Sundays. And it's for the love of their comrades and the love of their squadron mates and the respect that they have for everybody who's been involved in the military and in these airplanes. These are not all 105 people. Some of them are F4 people, some of them are helicopter people, but they help each other with each of the different airplanes, and they put all of the love and care and respect that they can into each and every one of these machines out here. So please let them hear your appreciation.